This is the review for the PAP Module 2 CBA. So hopefully you did your review, and this is meant to help guide you through some of the problems if you had trouble. We'll get started. So these are the vocabulary that you should know for this unit, so if you don't, make sure that you ask for the CBA on Wednesday. Number 1, Sarah has a box of cookies that is half full. 1 serving of the cookies is 1/8 of the box. How many servings of the cookies does Sarah have? So that of is our keyword for multiply, so we're going to do 1/2 times 1/8. We multiply across. 1 times 1 is 1. 2 times 8 is 16, so my answer would be 1/16 of the box. Number 2, use a number line to order the following fractions. I'm going to go ahead and do my 0, 1, and 2. The first two I'm going to look at are going to be 9/6 and 1 1/4. 9/6, if I make that not an improper fraction, it's going to be 1 3/6, which is 1 1/2. So that's going to go kind of right here in the middle. 9/6, and then I know 1 1/4 is less than that, so 1 1/4 would go right there. And then I'm looking at 2/3, 5/8, and 3/4. I know 3/4 is 7/500, so that's going to go right about here. 2/3 I know is 6600s repeated, and then 5/8 is actually, if I turn that into a decimal, it is 625 thousandths. So the order for that, and that's closer to a half, is going to be 5/8, and then 2/3, and then 3/4. Number 3, the grid represents one whole. How much of the grid is shaded? There are 45 hundredths of this grid shaded. So this is 45. So 45 hundredths, which if I divide both of those by 5, because by 5/5 really, I can see 45 divided by 5 is 9, 100 divided by 5 is 20, so the correct answer is C. Make sure that you simplify. Number 4, Amy went to the store to buy milk. Her mom needed 2/3 of 1/2 of the milk. How much did Amy's mom get of the milk? So that of 2/3 of 1/2 tells us that we're going to multiply. So 2/3 times 1/2. This is one where you can multiply across and then simplify, or if you do the cross cancel method, I can say 2 and 2 both divide by 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 2 divided by 2 is 1. When I multiply across, 1 times 1 is 1. 3 times 1 is 3. And I would get 1/3. Her mom gets 1/3 of the milk. Number 5, determine which numbers are equivalent to 12/5. Okay, before I even look at my answers, I'm going to go ahead and say, okay, I can divide 5 into 12. It goes in twice, and I get a remainder of 2. So 2 and 2/5 will be my answer. As a decimal, that would be equal to 2 and 4/10, so that would be 2 and 4/10. So I've got 2 and 2/5, 2 and 4/10 to start. So 1, 2, and 2/5, because 12 divided by 5 is 2 with a remainder of 2. So yes, that does work. 2, 2 and 2/10, because 12 divided by 5 is 2 with a remainder of 2. Well, no, that would be easy to assume because my remainder was 2, but when I did my decimal, it's actually 2 and 4/10, not 2 and 2/10. So number 2 is not correct. Number 3, 2 and 4/10, because 12 divided by 5 is 2 with a remainder of 2/5, which equals 4/10. That is true. And that was number 3. Number 4, 12/10, because 12 times 1 is 12 and 5 times 2 is 10. For them to be equivalent, we would have to multiply the numerator and the denominator by the same thing. So that is not correct. So the answer would be D. Number 6, Mr. Jones needed a window screen to fit into his new window. The old screen was between 2/3 and 7/8 inches thick. Which screen will work in the new window? Okay, so I've got 2/3 and 7/8, and I need a number that's somewhere in the middle. I'm going to go ahead and look down here and cross out 1/5 because I know that 1/5 is close to 0 using my benchmark fractions, and that is going to be less than 2/3. I can actually do the same thing with 7/30. That's pretty close to 0. It's definitely less than half, which 2/3 is not, so I can cross out D. So now I'm looking at 4/5 and 14/15. I'm kind of going to go just based on what I know about decimals right here. 2/3, you should know at this point that that's going to be your 6/600 repeated. And then 7/8 is a good benchmark to know that that is 875 thousandths. And if I know that, then I know that 4/5 is equal to 8/10, which would be 8/10, which would fall right in the middle. So 4/5 would be my answer. All right, number 7. Tammy said that multiplying 5/6 and 2/3 is equal to 5/9. Mitch said that it is equal to 1 1/4. Robin said that it is equal to 12/15. Show your work to prove is correct. Sorry, we didn't give you a lot of room here, but I'm going to do 5/6 times 3/2. I'm going to do by cross cancel. I know 6 and 3 can both divide by 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 6 divided by 3 is 2. 5 and 2 don't have a common factor, so I can only do those ones. 5 times 1 is 5, 2 times 2 is 4. So I get 5/4 as my answer. Right? Yes. Hold on. No, yeah, that's right. Okay, sorry. 5/4 is my answer, which is equal to 1 1/4. And that says that Mitch is correct. I don't get 5/9. There's really not a way to get 5/9, being that this was improper. So Tammy wouldn't be correct. And the same thing with 12/15. If you multiply this across and you have had 2/3, you would, or yeah, 2/3, you would have gotten 12/15. Sorry. No, that's all right. If you multiplied it across, you would have gotten 15/12. Hopefully you didn't flip it. So Robin's not correct. So the correct answer is Mitch, just because I get 1 1/4. Levon has 4/5 cup of blueberries. A batch of blueberry muffins requires 6/15 cup of blueberries. How many batches of blueberry muffins can Levon make? So this is a division problem. Whenever you kind of see that, how many batches, how many groups, that's your key for division. So I am going to do 4/5 because that's how much I have. And then every batch requires 6/15 cups of blueberries. So I'm going to divide by 6/15. My first rule is keep it. So keep the first fraction the same. Flip or change my division to multiplication, and then flip it. I'm going to use the reciprocal of the second fraction. So keep it, change it, flip it. Now I'm going to cross cancel. Now that I multiply and divide by 2, I get 2 and 3. This way, divide by 5, I get 1 and 3. So when I multiply, 2 times 3 is 6, 1 times 3 is 3. And if I divide 6 by 3, I would get they could make 2 full batches with what we have left of those cupcakes, or of those blueberries. On the back, the student council at Forney Middle School put together a fundraiser to sell t-shirts to help raise money for a local homeless shelter. The goal for the fundraiser is $600, and their current earnings are shown in the model below. Which of the following statements are true based on the model? So first things first, I'm going to say there's 10 sections, and there's 600 is their total, so each one is worth 60. So I'm going to write that in to start. And then they've raised 8 out of the 10 sections, so they've raised 8/10, which is equal to 4/5 of their goal. And then that's also equal to, if I add all those up, $480. So just a little bit of pre-work before I start looking at my answers. The student council's raised 16/20 of their goal. I'm going to go back and look at 8/10 and say, is that equivalent to 16/20? Well, if I multiply both of those by 2, 8 times 2 is 16, 10 times 2 is 20. So yeah, 16/20 would work. The student council has raised $480. I've already decided that, so that works. The student council has raised 4/5 of their goal. Said that already. The student council has $6 left to meet their goal. They actually have 120 because there's 2 sections of 60, so 4 wouldn't be correct. So your correct answers are 1, 2, and 3. Number 10, Mr. Goss asked Jenna and Jason to calculate the product of 3 2/3 times 5 1/4. I'm sorry, I can't talk this morning. Jenna calculated 231/12 as the product, and Jason calculated 77/4 as the product. Who calculated the correct answer? So I'm going to go ahead and just multiply 3 2/3. I need to make them improper. 3 times 3 is 9, plus 2 is 11, so I have 11/3 times 5 times 4 is 20, plus 1 is 21/4. When I multiply that, I get 231/12, so Jen is correct. To simplify that, I can turn it improper, but since I can turn it to proper fraction, but since I'm looking at another improper fraction, I'm going to go ahead and say 231/12, and if I were to divide by 12 by 3, I would get 4. So assuming I divide both of them by 3, and I get 77/4, they would be correct. 231 divided by 3 is 77. 12 divided by 3 is 4. So actually both Jenna and Jason are correct. Okay. Number 11, which expression shows the correct product for 4 1/4 times 2 1/3? You can actually do this. This is that window pane that y'all did from elementary school. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply the numbers to get to the boxes. So for this box, I have to do 4 times 2, which is 8. For this box, I have to do 1/4 times 2, which is 1/2. For this box, I do 4 times 1/3, which is 1 1/3. And for this box, it's 1/3 times 1/4, which is 1/12. And then I would add up all of these. And actually, the only one that has you adding all the way through is C. The rest of them have multiplication signs, which I don't want. So those would not be the answers. Number 12, Nina has 2/3 cup of shampoo left in the shampoo bottle. She uses 1/8 cup of shampoo to wash her hair. If she washes her hair every day, how many days can she wait for opening a new bottle? So, division problem, 2/3 divided by 1/8. Keep it, change it, flip it. So now I have 16/3, and when I simplify that out, I would get 5 1/3. So she's going to be able to do 5 full days, and then on that 6th day, she's going to have to open another bottle because she only has 1/3 of the shampoo and she needs 2/3. Number 13, Texas Motor Speedway has various drivers out for practice laps for the Labor Day race. Each driver held 5 minutes to complete as many laps as they could. Tony Stewart completed 3 5/8 laps. Dale Earnhardt Jr. completed 3 2/5 laps. Jimmy Johnson completed 4 1/3 laps. And Casey Conn completed 4 2/500 laps. Write the driver in order from fastest to slowest. So the fastest is going to be who got the most amount of laps in that 5 minutes. And I'm going to look, and I see that is actually going to end up being Jimmy Johnson. I don't even really need to write that out because that's going to be 4 and 3 repeated. 300s repeated. The next one will be Casey Conn because he's also at a 4. So Casey would be next. Then I'm looking at Tony Stewart versus Dale Earnhardt Jr. 2/5 is less than half, and 5/8 is greater than half. So that's kind of nice. I don't even actually have to do any converting here. I know that Tony's going to be my 3rd fastest, and then Dale's going to be the least fastest because he completed the least amount of laps in 5 minutes. Number 14, Ava is measuring sections to display her trophies in her room. Her shelf is 4 5/8 feet long. If she wants each trophy to have 1/4 a foot of space, how many trophies can she display? Which of the following expressions can be used to determine how many trophies she can display? So this is a division problem. I have this much space, and I want this many sections, or that each section to be that long. So 4 5/8 divided by 1/4, which is going to end up being 4 5/8 times 4 over 1. Whenever I have a number directly over 1, it's basically that whole number. So I could say that this is 4 5/8 times 4, which is C. I know it's a little bit tricky, but it kind of has to go with how you flip it, and then it becomes a multiplication problem. Which of the following set of fractions or decimals does not belong to the set? So we have 2/50ths, which would be 1/25, 1 and 2/10, so those two already don't match. 1 and 16/40ths, that would simplify to 1 and 2/5. 28/20ths, I do 20 into 28, sorry, 1, 20, and I get 8/20ths, which simplifies to 1 and 2/5. So these two are the same, which would mean these two do not belong in that set. Number 16, Jenny has 2 and 2,500 ounces of lemon juice that can be used to make pitchers of lemonade. She needs 2,500 ounces of lemon juice for each pitcher of lemonade. How much lemon juice will be left over after she makes 3 pitchers? So I've got to multiply first and then divide. So I'm going to start by multiplying 3 and 2,500. So again, I don't have to line up my decimal places. I'm just going to count that I have 2 decimals in my problem, so I have to have 2 in my answer. And I'm going to multiply like it's not there. 5 times 3 is 15. 2 times 3 is 6 plus 1 is 7. I need 2 decimal places in my answer. So my answer is 7,500. But now I need to divide that by 2 and 2,500. So 7,500 divided by 2 and 2,500. I don't want any decimals on the outside, so I'm going to multiply this by 100. And I'm going to multiply the inside by 100 so I can get rid of my decimal places. So now my new division problem is 75 divided by 225. 75 goes into 225 exactly 3 times. And I have no remainder. So the answer would be that I would have 3 ounces left over. Did I even spell that right? Yes. Okay. So hopefully this helped you with your review. If you have any questions, don't forget to come to tutorials. Have a great day.